aka Padders, one of the great horror comic books in all of comic book history. CrossGen Entertainment's Route 666. The artist of this, who later developed into someone with some serious chops that for whatever reason didn't get an Instagram following, didn't explode on social media. Karl Moline is no longer with us. He has passed. This is the first time on this channel we're doing back-to-back the passing of videos. I worked at a New Jersey comic book shop. It's called Hall of Heroes. I worked closely with the owner. Some people, like I was somewhat of a district manager, somewhat of a manager. I wore multiple hats, but I was involved with this guy's growing empire at the time, all the way down to he even bought like a pizza shop, and we would deliver comic books with people's pizzas. No cap. So during this time, CrossGen was one of the books that for our store and all the trade paperbacks and all the collections, they sold very well. Karl Moline's passing on this channel is a gateway to talk more about CrossGen Comics and what exactly these titles were positioned to do. CrossGen, in my opinion, they did two things perfectly. They gave you a genre and a new character with fantastic writing, fantastic artwork. And it was also somewhat doubled as a media, like TV series or movie pitch. If it was just like a low-hanging fruit idea, like slasher film, CrossGen Comics could give you something perfectly curated for slasher. Or if it's, for Route 666 case, it is a cutie psychic girl, somewhat detective. I mean, we've seen this before, but CrossGen just had a way of incorporating these elements, packaging them, getting them out the door, and it being regular. No other comic entity that was new at the time did this. You kind of want to say Karl Moline getting into Route 666 was his absolute breakthrough, because everybody in the industry at the time wanted to work for CrossGen Entertainment. You would have to move to Florida, but you did work in the studio system and you got all the benefits of a company. This was great. This is also why they got so much talent packed into packed into that state. And I'm not joking, guys. Like, CrossGen had 4 launch titles. Route 666, basically year 2, there was another 4 core launch titles, and this book reigned for another solid 2 years until it was all sold off to Walt Disney Co. later to also acquire Marvel comic books. His passing, it's meaningful to me, it's impactful to me, because during this time in my life, I was reading Chaos Comics, CrossGen Comics, Dreamwave Comics. I was reading everything but Marvel and DC. I was so much more interested in this company this company, multiple company wave that came up through the Image generation. And these guys, the way how CrossGen was conceived and managed was a creator's dream. It's disingenuous that CrossGen gets all of this bad publicity, this bad flack. And with Karl's passing, the other thing that, and it's so similar to the points I made with the most recent John Cassidy video, is when these individuals pass on, the books and their work pass on with them. And then it's up to people like me to bring them to you and to showcase it. And these are all videos that don't get, they don't get the interactions, the likes, the views. They just kind of sit there, and then through a long enough timeline, maybe something substantial can come from that video just sitting on YouTube. Route 666 is a perfect issue-to-issue Monster of the Week horror anthology, but with a larger arc comic book. The comic book industry as a lore, right? We have so much that runs through EC comic books. EC comic books, absolutely legendary. If you ask me, 2 of the hardest comic books to ever achieve in producing is a horror comic book and a comedy comic book. Everything else seemed very easy, very much low hanging fruit. But doing horror in a comic book, I would say, is actually more difficult. It's way more difficult than comedy because there's a lot of time. I mean, you read something like Bone, you read R. Crumb. The comedy's there. R. Crumb is probably other issues with him at that point, but like you see the pops and you see the innuendos. Even Brian Michael Bendis with his Ultimate Spider-Man, like lots of comedy, lots of really good timing. But doing good horror in comic books, it's movies, low hanging fruit. I feel like every single director has a great horror movie in them. Comic books, it is a very, very short, small list. When it comes to panel, issue to issue, Route 666 is one of them. Now, how did I end up with this? Let me just tell you that real quick before we get going. I have a friend that for a while, like, just kept me actively going to comic shops and like some of these conventions where it's just like it's a room full of dealers. There, technically it's a comic book convention. Technically it's not. It's just like a room full of guys selling their collections. But he would sometimes call me as early as like 7 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and would be like, "Hey, can I come pick you up? Can we go here? This and that." So he brings me to this comic shop that has this one amazing sale, and I needed like another $5 spent or something to get over the threshold for a discount. So I hit this $5 trade paperback bin box that he had, and I pulled this out, and I was between Route 666 and Ruse, Mark Waid's Ruse, another controversial name, but Mark Waid's Ruse, absolutely legit from CrossGen Entertainment. Route 666, I always favored more than Ruse, but the books are very similar in style and in nature. One's a Sherlock Holmes analog, and one is basically a hot girl horror right there. But no, guys, the passing of Karl Moline, it's impactful because there was a time where I worked in the comic shop and I read Chaos, I read a lot of Dark Horse, I read a lot of CrossGen Entertainment, Dreamwave, just about everything Image was putting out at the time. The benefits of someone being like a district manager, but manager that worked closely with an owner of a comic book, micro empire that had four stores and a pizza shop, and yes, you could order a pizza and get your books delivered, your weekly pull list delivered to your house. CrossGen itself, I thought it was fantastic. I never understood their bad press. I never understood the bad takes. I don't like it that a lot of the CrossGen creators, they do these live streams now, and they're kind of like apologist level live streams, just because they toe the line of the popular opinion about the very company that provided for them. I don't know. Homie, don't play that. I never liked it. Karl's passing is impactful because he was very talented. I've read his book monthly. I liked it. I had a whole stack of them at one point, and now I'm motivated to, hey guys, like after yesterday's John Cassidy video, it was like, hey, let's drop a dime on Cassidy so I can bring it to you guys. And now, because of Karl's passing, I will have to drop a CrossGen dime on this channel. But these, this is the if not the benefit, but if there's a silver lining, it's that current news motivates a lot of what I do. So I'm motivated now to really give you guys a perspective of CrossGen Entertainment. And when we have a passing of any creator connected to these books, we have to assume that the book kind of passes with them or their work, because then who is to advocate for it? I want to rewrite the perception of Karl's work on Route 666 and CrossGen Entertainment. So if there is a silver lining, it's I am motivated for that, because his monthly work on this book is substantial. He later evolves. Another controversial name, Josh Whedon. Frey, the Dark Horse 6-issue miniseries. His jump from Route 666 to Frey is head spinning, and then his his career seems to sputter and struggle a little bit, and he never really pops on social media. To me, he was always an artist that was on the level, and could be on that Mark Farmer, Terry Dotson type level. If Adam Hughes became regular, which would be like well proportioned figures, heavy line work, nice expressions, good backgrounds, but kind of like opened figures, meaning the figures themselves don't have a lot of detail. One day maybe we'll make that analysis. But yeah, it just stinks. I don't like doing videos like this. Karl Moline, an absolute legend in my eyes for a company that deserves way more credit.